Hello and welcome back. R.A. Faginal Hall on the campus of Elmhurst College. Luke Tanaka, delighted to bring you Game 2 of our doubleheader. CCIW SLIAC Challenge Day 2, Elmhurst College Blue Jays, Westminster College Blue Jays. The one-word Blue Jays from Elmhurst against the two-word Blue Jays from Westminster. Luke Tanaka, delighted to bring you all the action as Nixon of Elmhurst controls the tip back to Coleman. Starters for the Elmhurst College Blue Jays: Pat Coleman, number 15. Number 42, Jalen Loving, who you see having the ball right now. Number 21, Brian Ackerman. Number 24, Nathan Rogers, who takes a three just off the mark, but the rebound goes to Matt Murphy of Westminster. Westminster starters: Vernis Lee Jr., their point guard, currently handling the ball. Matt Murphy, number 42, who has it now. Kellen Brondell is number 44. Number 14, Brandon Moore, receiving the handoff from Murphy. And then Tanner Jenkis, I should say, is the fifth starter for Westminster. Early going. First shot attempt from Westminster is a three from Murphy. That's good. Matt Murphy. First points of the game for either team. Jalen Loving controlling at the top. Transfer, new player for Elmhurst. Another player for John Baines to play with after losing Nick Sanford, their four from a year ago. Loving hoping to fill that role. Here he is driving baseline. Tried to go with the right hand, but it was partially blocked. Ernest Lee Jr. on the far side. Brondell. Back to Lee Jr. Trying to set up the offense with 20 on the shot clock. Here's Murphy. He made the first basket. Guarded by Nixon. Driving baseline. Moore pushed off did Nathan Rogers, and so that'll be Rogers' first foul. First foul will be a call on the floor. So no basket. First foul for Nathan Rogers. First team foul for Elmhurst. Trying to get the ball in was Westminster. It bounces around, and then two players, Brondell and Murphy, collide with each other. But Murphy is still able to control and keep his feet on the ground to avoid a travel. Westminster lost their first game of the year last night to Milliken. Elmhurst easily beat Greenville. Here's Murphy again from downtown. Off the front iron and in. Matt Murphy got the friendly roll. 6-0 Westminster at 2 threes from Matt Murphy. Pat Coleman, point guard, looking to get it into Nixon, who they are double teaming. Leaves Bryant Ackerman open for three, and Ackerman hits. See on the replay that they double Nixon down low, which leaves open Bryant Ackerman at the top. And Ackerman able to hit the three. That's the second time they've ran that same play, and this is going to be a foul on Will Nixon, his first. Rogers had an attempt from the top of the circle, top of the arc I should say, and it hit the three, but instead he missed that one. But then, second chance they've ran the same play for Ackerman, and Ackerman was able to hit the three. Now driving and laying up and in with his right hand is Taylor Jenkis. Jenkis, a sophomore. West Philalia, Missouri is where he calls home when he's not at Westminster. Pat Coleman faking, giving it to Ackerman. Ackerman driving to his left, looking for Loving down low. Backing in, double teamed, but Loving is able to scoop it up and in. Nice layup from Jalen Loving as we check it out on the replay. Good feed from Ackerman. Loving able to split the defenders, Brondell and Murphy. Coleman gets a hand on that pass, but unable to control it. It'll go back to Westminster. As we mentioned, Blue Jays, convincing win over Greenville yesterday. 92-75 right here at R.A. Faginal Hall in the finale of day one of the CCIW SLIAC Challenge. Eric Crittenton, 24 points off the bench for Elmhurst. As Ackerman pokes it away from Murphy, dives for the steal but could not get it. 18 seconds on the shot clock for Westminster. Brian Ackerman also had 19 points to add. Nathan Rogers with 11. But Crittenton, 8 of 10 from the field, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. 24 points. Crittenton, easily his career high. Murphy traveled off the pressure from Nixon. Will Nixon all up in the face of Matt Murphy and forcing him into a travel. Turnover for Westminster and their first of the game. Here is Loving. Tried to feed it to Nixon, didn't have a good feed, but got it back. Rogers to the top of the circle. Here's Ackerman driving to his right, all the way to the basket. Lays it up just a bit too strong, no good. Rebound to Brondell. In the corner, shot fake and a good one. Moore for three, and he hits. Brandon Moore. Check it out on the replay. Moore is a senior guard from Jefferson City, Missouri. Shot fake and then able to hit from downtown. Nixon down low, spinning. Shot is short. Good defense by Westminster. You could tell they're really trying to take away the easy basket for Elmhurst and force them to make threes. Here's Lee Jr. from the corner. No good. Rebound off of Nixon and into the hands of Ackerman. Brian Ackerman, pass down low to Jalen Loving. Turnaround floater. And the basket is good. Jalen Loving, 4 points in the early going. 11-7 Westminster early in this game as we got a bunch of subs coming in from both sides, including the man Crittenton, who had 24 yesterday off the bench for Elmhurst. Vertus Lee Jr. driving to his right to the elbow. Stopped there. Coleman's went right through Coleman's hands. Moore with the behind-the-back pass to Brendel. It was a little wild. 6 on the shot clock for Moore. 3 on the clock. He got hit in the face. Has to chuck up a wild shot that's no good. Rebounded by Rogers, and Moore is kind of slow to get up the court. We'll see if the Blue Jays take advantage. Pat Coleman pulls up for 2. And the officials timeout as we check this. Rogers initially wanted to see if they were called a shot clock violation, but then seeing that Moore was slow to get up the floor, ran quickly and was able to get the pass to Coleman, so Coleman could hit from 17 feet. Checking in for the Blue Jays, Kenny Payonk, Eric Crittenton, and Kyle Weiss seeing their first action of the game. 5 minutes into this one. 2-point Westminster lead. They have the ball. Here's one of those subs for Westminster, Tanner Cochran. Freshman guard playing the point. Passes to another sub, Mick Ebert. To the other sub, Jay Zalis. Fighting for the basket there was Jenkins, and he wasn't able to put it in or get a foul call. Rebound to Ackerman. Ackerman spinning, trying to get around. Good switch by Westminster. Wiest, leading scorer for the Blue Jays last year. Thought about a 3, but didn't take it. It swung all the way around to Coleman on the far side. Now handoff from Payonk to Coleman to the near side. Ackerman for 3. No good. Ackerman able to track down his own rebound, though, and get it out to Wiest. Coleman at the top of the key, driving to his left. Now hands off to Ackerman, who dribbles at the top of the key to slow things down. 25 seconds on the shot clock as Crittenton faked a shot. Now driving. Crittenton driving into the lane, and he is fouled, and we'll have 2 free throws coming up. It's Jenkins' first team foul for Westminster in this game. And Eric Crittenton heading to the line. He was the story yesterday. Crittenton, who only averaged less than 4 points a game last year with the Blue Jays, had 24 in their 92-75 win over Greenville yesterday. Not only was Crittenton 8 of 10 from the field, which is just some ungodly statistic you never thought you'd hear, but how about 7 of 7 from the stripe as well? Made the first free throw. Second one is on its way. Nothing but net. Crittenton's 2 free throws tie the score. 11 all. As the Blue Jays have gone on a nice run to get back into it. Here's a 3, though, trying to break the tie. Was Zalis. He was unable to connect, and Crittenton comes down with the board. Crittenton also had 4 rebounds in yesterday's contest, along with his 24 points. That time he's going to get called for an illegal screen. Blocking foul on Crittenton, his first and the 3rd team foul. Freshman guard, number 12, Cochran taking it up the floor. Cochran falls down, but is able to get to Zalis before losing possession. Now he's wide open in the corner from the baseline drive with the right hand. Hand swiping at it. Battling for the rebound, Coleman ends up with it. Coleman will push up the floor for the Blue Jays. It's Ackerman. And Crittenden slowing things down at the top, hoping that somebody's going to come help him out. Crittenden, for his size, very good at handling the ball. Crittenden 6'7", 215, a junior from Crete, Illinois, and Marion Catholic High School. Very good at controlling the ball for his height. 10 on the shot clock for Wiest, who backs it out. Crittenden from the top of the key, drives to his left, puts up a left-handed shot that's no good. Gets his own rebound, puts up the second shot, and it's good. Eric Crittenden misses the first shot, gets his own rebound, and puts in the second one. So with 12:40 to go, Elmhurst, their first lead of the game, 13-11. I should say first lead since they led 2-0. Spin, close to a travel there, but he turned it over anyway. Pat Coleman lost the ball there, gets held by Zales, but eventually Kyle Wiest is there. Surprised they didn't call a foul on Zales there. He was holding Coleman back as they're both going for the ball. There's a nice entry pass to Wiest and one. Kyle Wiest from Bryant Ackerman. Just a great entry pass there by Ackerman. It's shades of what the Blue Jay women's basketball team loves to do. Throw to the weak side and then use entry passes to get it easy layups. And that time it's Kyle Wiest, the beneficiary of a nice feed from Brian Ackerman. Mitch McLaughlin and Brandon Schwebke, two new players for the Blue Jays, will check in after this timeout. We'll take this timeout to talk a little bit about this season for the Blue Jays. Is last year an 8-game improvement. They won 14 games in John Bain's first season as head coach, and it makes them very excited for what could be a really great year this year as an 8-win improvement with a very young team. And one of the things they did so well last year was win close games, and they had a very, very positive record in games decided by 5 points or less, 10 points or less. Name any statistic you want in close games, and the Blue Jays were all over it. And they only lost one senior to graduation, Nick Sanford. So Will Nixon, Kyle Wiest, Brian Ackerman, and Pat Coleman, 4 starters last year for the Blue Jays, all still on the team, and all of them juniors. And the only 2 seniors on the team are actually non-starters, as Wiest completes the 3-point play with that free throw. Michael Jerkovich, he does play, but he doesn't start. He's a senior. And then Nathan Ropp, who has been injured and is still injured. Not active right now, on the roster, but not active. Ebert lost the ball out of bounds, and he will go sit. Replaced by number 42, Matt Murphy. Here's a left-handed shot. Saved by Westminster, but right to the hands of Wiest, who is fouled by Moore. Moore's first foul, 3rd on the team. Here's Schwebke, one of the new turners. Nice feed to Payonk, who lays it up and in off the glass. Schwebke and Payonk exchange a nice look, as that's a very nice feed from him, as you'll see here. Westminster defense got confused, and Schwebke read it very well, dumping it off to the open Payonk. Pump fake by Moore, driving, right-handed floater is no good. 3 Blue Jays battle with themselves for the rebound, but it's eventually picked up. Here's McLaughlin with a head of steam. McLaughlin out to Schwebke, who's wide open for 3. Bang! Brandon Schwebke. 14-0 run for the Blue Jays. And the Elmhurst Blue Jays, check out this replay. A wide open Schwebke. Bang for 3. 11 minutes to go in this first half. Blue Jays on a 14-0 run to take a 10-point lead over Westminster. Last year, Blue Jays fell to Westminster on the road. One of the close games they actually lost last year, if you look at their schedule. 2 games they played down at Westminster. They played Westminster and Greenville, lost by 4 to Westminster, lost by 5 to Greenville. Then you come back, you beat Benedictine by 1. Then 2 games later, you beat Webster by 1, beat Kalamazoo by 3, beat Trine by 4, and that's all back-to-back-to-back games. Then Fontbonne, another relatively close game, win by 8. Beat Austin College by 10, and all of a sudden, the Blue Jays are 7-1, and all but one of those wins have come in games decided by 10 points or less. And then you go down to Texas, and you end up playing Division I NCAA tournament Cinderella story Stephen F. Austin and lose there. But regardless, just to play on Stephen F. Austin's floor and to be able to play against a team that pulled a 12-5 upset in the Division I NCAA tournament is pretty cool. And then in conference play, beat Milliken by 5, beat North Park by 3, beat Carthage by 3, beat Augustana by 9. I mean, they just played so well in those close games. Both wins against Milliken were by 10 points or less, and so that's that. I mean, that's how you do a quick turnaround, I suppose. You practice those late game situations and you win those close games. Because if you go, you're 8-2, 7-3 in those close games, then that's a big swing for going 3-7 or 2-8 even in those games. And Schwebke able to come up with the steal. Payonk was the one who got a hand on it. McLaughlin tried to feed Crittenton, but a nice play by the defense. And Brandon Drum, who's recently checked in for Westminster, to limit that possession for Elmhurst and slow things down. Another turnover gives the Blue Jays the ball with a 10-point lead. Wiest looking for a target, finds Payonk, and up to McLaughlin at the top of the key. McLaughlin, back up point guard, transfer. Lots of transfers on this Blue Jay team and just a ton of juniors. If you look at their roster, the majority of the team is juniors, so the majority will be back next year, including all 5 starters. Wiest for 3. No, just a little bit short, but rebound Crittenton. Going up and fouled was Crittenton. Another offensive board for the Blue Jays as you check it out on the replay. You're going to see Crittenton swing pass to Wiest, and a great job by Crittenton of just catching the ball off the deflection. Then putting it back up. First foul on Matt Murphy. 4th team foul for Westminster. And that's Crittenton's first free throw miss of the year. 7 of 7 yesterday, 2 of 2 today before that one. 9 of 10 on the season ain't bad, though, I'll tell you that much. With 10:20 remaining, still a 10-point lead for Elmhurst. Trying to get a revenge over it because of the close loss last year when the Blue Jays traveled to face Westminster down in St. Louis. Crittenton's got 5 to lead all scorers. He had 24 yesterday in their win over Greenville. Here's Brandon Moore, spinning, dribbling with the left hand. Great feed to Matt Murphy, and 1. So that ends the Blue Jays' 15-0 run. It's Westminster back on the scoreboard. First time they've scored since about 17 minutes since 17 minutes remained, as you see the layup there. So maybe 6 or 7 minutes of time has elapsed since Westminster's last field goal. And that one is no good. Rattles in and out by Murphy. Unable to complete the 3-point play, but cuts the Elmhurst lead to 9. McLaughlin with his left hand. Loses it briefly, gives it to Wiest. Wiest from the free throw line is good. Jumper by Wiest. Kyle Wiest, leading scorer for Elmhurst last season, and that ball is thrown away by Jenkins. Nixon and Loving back in. Payonk will sit. Crittenton will sit. Starting front court of Nixon and Loving back in for Elmhurst, but lots of players that will play for this Elmhurst team. They do have a lot of depth. Something that John Baines loves to do and is really critical in those late game situations. The players aren't tired. Wiest from the corner, no good. Rebound brought down emphatically and hard by Drum. Here is Drum, dribbling to his left. Backed off by Loving. Now Murphy against Nixon. Murphy gets around Nixon, but Nixon recovers for the huge block. And not only that, but it goes off of Vernis Lee Jr., which means Elmhurst will have the basketball. Wow, what a great block by Will Nixon. Nixon got beat initially, but was able to recover and then pin that one on the glass. Another block from Nixon. He led the CCIW in blocks last season. Loving from the elbow, his jumper. Nothing but net. And Elmhurst has doubled up Westminster so far in the game, 26-13, with that huge 15-0 run being the deciding factor so far. Jenkins crossing over to his right hand, now gives it off to Murphy. Remember, Murphy can shoot it from out there. Jenkins finding Drum. Jenkins went down hard after the pass. Here's Vernis Lee Jr. Basket does not count. Kyle Wiest with an arm cross and a checking foul on Vernis Lee Jr., so it'll be on the floor on the baseline. On the floor now for Elmhurst, Rogers, Coleman, Nixon, Ackerman, and Loving, the starting five. And Loving currently facing his opposing 42, Matt Murphy. Now, Vernis Lee Jr. working on Nathan Rogers. His shot is well wide, just barely grazed the iron. And Ackerman is recovering down to the Elmhurst half of the court. Coleman took one too many steps as he got cut off by Murphy on the baseline. It'll be a turnover for Elmhurst, just one of their few turnovers they've had so far in the first 12 minutes. Just the second turnover for the Elmhurst Blue Jays so far. Open shot for Moore, and he hits. Brandon Moore. Five points for Moore in the game. That entry pass was deflected, but it got back out to Coleman. Here's Rogers, swing pass to Ackerman. Looking for an open target, goes back up to the top of the key for Rogers for three. Yes. Rogers' first basket of the game gives him 3 points and gives the Blue Jays a 29-15 lead. Vernis Lee Jr., nice pass to Moore, but he couldn't handle it. Moore shakes Coleman, goes down the baseline. The floater dribbles in and out, but Murphy was there, and his attempt just can't quite find the netting. Ackerman just barreled himself into Vernis Lee Jr., but he's going to get a foul called as Lee Jr. was moving on the play. So 13 minutes in, Elmhurst on top 29-15. And Brian Ackerman will head to the line. It's Lee Jr.'s first foul, fifth on the team. First shot is good for Ackerman. Ackerman's second free throw attempt. It rattles in, and Elmhurst will call a timeout. Check that. It's actually going to be Westminster calling the timeout. And during the timeout, we'll take a closer look at the Blue Jays season preview. You can read this preview yourself. It's posted on elmhurstbluejays.com. Beginning with Will Nixon, the center. Coach Baines has said that he believes he's capable of having a breakout year for this season. And he's really worked hard to improve his offensive game this year, which hasn't quite shown yet this season. Yesterday, Nixon, 18 minutes, just 6 points. Though he only had one field goal attempt, and he made it. So I suppose doing well so far. Perfect on the season coming into this game, just 1 for 1, had 6 points. Also had a couple points from the free throw stripe. So Nixon, one of the returning starters, and we'll continue with that preview at the next break we have. But for now, Matt Murphy's taking a three. Could have gotten the rebound himself by following the shot, instead decided to back away from it. And Pat Coleman is controlling for the Blue Jays. Point guard, Coleman. junior guard from North Chicago. Rogers driving, and be a foul called on the layup. Block charged to Jordan Jones, his first foul, 6th team foul. Rogers' first free throw is money. Cochran back in, replacing Jenkins. As Westminster goes small here, just Brundell and Murphy, the 2 forwards, and 3 guards alongside. 6 foot. Check that, it's Jenkins, not Jones, on the foul, which makes it 2 on Jenkins, and that's why he is checked out. Freshman, Coach Run playing the point. 3 guards, 2 guards along with him, and then 2 forwards as well. Good defense by Ackerman. Ackerman needs to keep his hands up, though. Watch out for those hand-checking calls that they introduced last season. 52. That's Will Nixon. That's his second. 2 early fouls for Will Nixon. Possibly an uh-oh from the coaching staff, but they are not getting anybody up for him. So those 2 fouls, 14 minutes in, not enough for the Blue Jays to take him out. And John Baines and the coaching staff. Here's Vernus Lee Jr. Backing out is the point guard. Kochman looking for an open target. Tries to find Brendel, and a reach by Loving. Another foul will reset the shot clock. Under 6 minutes to play, and that's the 7th personal foul of the game. So that means 1-1 for Brendel. Number 44, junior forward, 6'6", from Wardsville, Missouri, makes the first one. Jay Zalis checking into the game for Westminster. And the second free throw is good. For those of you who didn't join us for the first game of our doubleheader, it's a blowout win for the Elmhurst women's basketball team as they took out Westminster in the first half of the doubleheader. Tough pass, eventually finds Payonk, but it's blocked by Murphy. Kostrand has his pass deflected by Loving, who got his hands up just quick enough to limit Zalis' opportunity on the opposite side of the court. 5:35 remaining. 32-17, Elmhurst in the Battle of the Blue Jays. Right here at R.A. Faginal Hall. He tried to put it off his back and then go to the layup, and he could not convert on the layup. Brandon Moore hit it off the back of Pat Coleman, who was not looking, but could not quite convert on the layup, and it worked really well. He had an easy lane to the basket via the baseline, but the Blue Jay defense converged quickly. Here's Kenny Payonk, Jr., to Rogers. And Ackerman, who couldn't quite handle the pass, but picks it up. Coleman coming to get the ball, the point guard, now finding Rogers. Driving baseline towards the right. Puts up a tough shot. That's no good, but Kenny Payonk. Check that. It was actually Eric Crittenton. I saw the 2. Couldn't see the other number. It was Eric Crittenton with the rebound and the basket. Brendel answers with a basket of his own. Under 5 to play in the first half. Pat Coleman, Kenny Payonk looking for an open target. Payonk, Coach Bain says, one of the smarter players on this team. May not have the most talent he's ever seen, but he's one heck of a smart player. And there he is right there, getting off of his box out, able to get the feed to Coleman, but Coleman couldn't quite convert on that one. Crittenton with the hustle, but couldn't save it. And Westminster will have possession with under 4.5 to play in the first half. Couple of subs coming in. Weist back in. He'll replace Rogers. Weiss, the leading scorer, but coming off the bench. Perhaps a Manu Ginobili type role, a scorer coming off the bench for Elmhurst. As Nathan Rogers has gotten the start at the 2, with Ackerman starting at the 3, Loving at the 4, Nixon at the 5, and Coleman starting point guard. Pass deflected by Ackerman. Good active hands for Elmhurst. Knocks the ball out of bounds, but he couldn't quite hang on to it. So Brandon Moore will inbound for Westminster to Kocher in the point guard. Looking for some help. Finds it in Drum. Brandon Drum. Swing pass to Jordan Jensen. Jensen trying to drive baseline. Crittenden on him. Turnaround baseline. Bunny is good. Sweet turnaround Jay there on the taller Crittenden. But now let's see if Elmhurst tries to go to Crittenden. As this Westminster zone has gotten very small. And there's a steal. Steal by Moore all the way down the floor. Easy lay-in for him. The steal in the basket cuts the Elmhurst lead to 11. 2 consecutive baskets for Westminster. Pat Coleman driving to his right. Crittenden fake the 3. Now will take the baseline jumper. And he is fouled. It'll be the 7th team foul. Zales' second. Crittenden heads to the stripe. 24 points in yesterday's win over Greenville. Missed a couple of free throws so far today, though. He was 7 of 7 yesterday. Peyton Wyatt checking into the game for the first time. Mitch McLaughlin also in, as the Blue Jays will use those 2 as guards, number 1 and number 2, Wyatt and McLaughlin, with Ackerman playing the 3. Crittenden down low along with Payonk. Kocher on the point guard looking for Brandon Moore. Moore dribbling on the far side, guarded by McLaughlin, makes a couple moves, gets all the way to the basket and lays it up and in off the glass. Here's Mitch McLaughlin with a head of steam. He is extremely quick, goes coast to coast, but couldn't quite get the basket to fall. Westminster off and running as the pace has gotten frantic here. And another basket. Brandon Moore once again, same play, and John Baines wants a full timeout as Westminster has gone on a nice run here to cut the Elmhurst lead to just 8. And it seems like the frantic pace is really helping Westminster, and especially helping them get back in the game. 2:47 remaining in the half. Westminster trying to cut the lead and cut the deficit before halftime. So we'll go back during this break. Elmhurst men's basketball season preview. We already talked about Will Nixon. Down low, being the low man in John Baines' 4-out offense, in which he plays 4 guys outside the 3-point line and then 1 guy down in the middle. And that down forward will most likely be Will Nixon. And other forwards, how about Eric Crittenden, who only averaged 4.6 points per game in 21 last year. Had 24 yesterday against Greenville. But it's been Jalen Loving who has taken Crittenden's potential starting spot at the 4, where Nick Sanford left to graduation last year. So that is the front court for the Blue Jays, and the main contributors, along also with Kenny Payonk, who has seen action today. You can see him, number 12, in the middle of your screen. Payonk, Crittenden, Loving, and Nixon down low. And at the next chance we get, we'll talk a little bit about the guards. And lots of returning guards for the Blue Jays this season. Mitch McLaughlin, currently handling the ball as a transfer guard. And really the backcourt, I'd say, is where the Blue Jays are most deep. They have a ton of depth and a lot of good talent coming off the bench in the front court. Brian Ackerman trying to run the offense. Here's McLaughlin looking for Crittenden. McLaughlin has some space to run, tried to find Payonk, but his pass was well off the mark. Coleman back in, replacing McLaughlin, who just had that errant pass. John Baines heading over to talk to McLaughlin, knowing he's a bit frustrated with himself, making sure, although he's very fast, I'm sure the game comes very quickly to him as Eric Crittenden with a huge block and rejection. Crittenden on the block on his opposing 22, Jay Zalis, reminding him that that's his house in the paint. For McLaughlin, as we were mentioning before the block, I think maybe the game's coming a little too quick for him, as he is an extremely fast guy, so perhaps his legs moving a little faster than his head on that last play. Here's a nice entry pass. Give Cochran the assist. Jordan Jensen, give him the basket. Great assist there. Cuts the Elmhurst lead to just 6. Westminster's gone on a great run here at the end of the half. Keep this game close. Peyton Wyatt for 3, looking to cut it, and he does. Peyton Wyatt from downtown in the corner extends the Elmhurst lead back to 9, 38-29, with a minute and a half remaining in the first half. Screened by Jensen, but Ackerman gets around it easily. Brandon Drum driving, left-handed floater is no good. Payonk able to beat Drum for the rebound. Coleman will dribble it up quickly. Looking at for Ackerman, wide open in the corner. Ackerman for 3. Bryant Ackerman, 2 straight threes for Elmhurst, extends the lead back to 12. Foul on Peyton Wyatt as he held Jay Zalis. He was trying to get away from him. First personal foul for Peyton Wyatt. Team's 8th. And Zalis will head to the line. Shooting 1 and 1. Zalis, junior guard from Rolla, Missouri. First free throw's no good. Looked like it went off of Zalis, and I think Ackerman thought the same thing. But the referees point in the direction of Westminster, so they will have the basketball. 48 seconds to go. Chance for a 2-for-1 play here if they can get a quick shot. Here's Cochran. Remember, they're trailing by 12. Need to make up some ground here before halftime. Get it closer. Cut the deficit. Cochran, they will not be able to do a 2-for-1 now as we tick under 35. Coleman guarding Moore. Moore lost it briefly, but able to recollect. Moore driving to his left. Doesn't have anything. Basket is made by Brondell. Kellen Brondell, junior forward from Wardsville, Missouri. Cuts the Elmhurst lead to 10, and now Coleman will be able to dribble all the way out to get the final shot for Elmhurst. Coleman to Crittenden with 8. Payonk with 6, now Ackerman with 5. Ackerman with 4, looking for an open target. Payonk with 3. Payonk turnaround jumper is good at the buzzer. Kenny Payonk at the buzzer puts the Blue Jays up 12 heading into the locker room. So that is halftime. We'll be right back with the second half on Blue Jay TV after this. Elmhurst leads 43-31.
I was born and raised in Taiwan and moved here 9 years ago. I'm always the type of person that wants to hang out with other people and meet new people. And because the Elmhurst environment, everyone is so friendly, that just make me feel really comfortable being here. The very first organization I joined was the Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity, and that opened the gate out for me to join other organizations.
Playing college football 4 years is very tough, but it's also very, very rewarding. Through Fellowship of Christian Athletes at Elmhurst College, I think has really helped me grow because, I wasn't the most outgoing guy in the beginning, but as my time went on, just meeting new people, I've kind of stepped out and became, more of a witness in my faith. I think, Fellowship of Christian Athletes has helped that, and I think Elmhurst College has encouraged that.
Elmhurst College definitely helped me grow, as in it made it clear to what I wanted to do. It definitely helped build me as the person that I am now. Lambda Chi also had, a great significance in that, turning me from a young dude to a gentleman and to a man. And Elmhurst College, definitely the campus, the atmosphere, the culture, the teachers here, the community itself, it was huge. And I think without Elmhurst College, I wouldn't be prepared for the real life.
Well, I think something I'm very passionate about is Habitat for Humanity. So we fundraise lots of money to go down to New Orleans and just help rebuild anywhere we can. Something that the locals there always tell us is just make sure you tell the story and make sure everyone back home knows that it's still not okay. And of course I'm getting more mature and stuff, but I think it's the whole community service aspect of my life that has really changed. A lot of my friends I met through Habitat, the more you're involved in, the more you're going to learn and just get to meet lots of people.
Was born in Elmhurst, moved to Wheaton when I was 3 or 4, and came back here for school. I felt that Elmhurst really did give me a chance in knowing what to expect, and it really broke me out of my shell and got me to know people better and to become more involved in general. I have a much broader view, a much greater respect for what else is out there.
One thing I really appreciate about Elmhurst College is the diversity of mindset, both with the students and with the faculty. I had all these constructs of how the world was supposed to work or how the world did work in my head before I came to Elmhurst and before I attended college. And then slowly as I entered the academic world and the social spheres at Elmhurst, I began to realize the multi-dimensional facets of these spheres and how nothing is really as straightforward as you think it to be when you first enter college. And I think that really helped me expand my worldview. Even though we're all so diverse, there are common threads that we may share in our tradition. You find it and it's there.
My Elmhurst experience, it has helped me already grow hugely as a person and be more aware of myself and my beliefs and my values and what I want to do, what I want to be, where I want to go. And I think that my experience here has put me in touch with a lot of people that can help me get there. Even if it is after I graduate, I feel like they're behind me. So I think that that's really a strength that this school has.
Outside of the classroom, I play for the softball team. I am a member of the J-Lights hip hop dance team. And I'm a member of Black Student Union. I know for sure that BSU is very welcoming to new people of all different kind of backgrounds. BSU has helped me to increase my networking skills a lot. It's a small school that can give you the resources of a big school as well as the individual time that you need that only a small school can give you.
I think that we attract so much attention because of the quality of the education we're getting here. They definitely try to bring the professionalism into the classroom. The faculty are incredible and they're still in the business, which is great for music people. It's nice to take classes and take lessons from teachers that are still performing. You know, music is really a universal language. Being in the performing ensembles was one of the great experiences being here.
Being at Elmhurst definitely makes it easier to get involved if you take the initiative to get involved. When I was a first year, I didn't take that step forward until second semester, and I didn't know what to do with myself. But once I took that step forward, people are so welcoming, and it doesn't matter what you want to get involved in. If you want to, they'll let you. And it's with open arms, and it's really easy to, and no one's going to turn you down. And that's what I liked about it so much, and that's what helped me to expand and broaden my horizons with all my different activities.
Elmhurst College is unique in so many ways.
Here we really do have values, and my professors know the values, and they push me to be those values.
Stewardship and faith and community and service, and it really does bring in kind of a level of just interaction with values that you never got before.
But as you kind of develop yourself over the years, you start to realize these values mean so much more, and you start to uncover the true meaning behind them.
You begin to see equivalencies between your life and the school, and then you discover that you're not just in a place of learning, you're also in a place of growing, you're in a place of maturity and value exactly that, core values.
Intellectual excellence means allowing our minds to grow in ways that we've never thought they could before. It means exploring those new pathways, seeing how we could do things different. It means stepping outside of our box of what we know and what we're comfortable with and taking those risks to really grow and make things better. I think that's really the core of what intellectual excellence is.
The professors set the standard of intellectual excellence, and that rubs off on the students, and I feel like that's rubbed off on me.
You really have to push yourself. So to know that's actually a value here is pretty important, because that's something I value on my own. So if my college values it as well, that means I really belong here.
To say that Elmhurst College values community, I think, is an understatement. I think Elmhurst College is community in so many ways.
Coming to Elmhurst College, a small college, it has to be about community.
It doesn't really matter who you are or where you've come from. Everyone here will just love you for who you are.
The fact that every individual and every unique person is allowed to be in an environment together and learn from each other and grow with each other.
Just the fact that it's smaller and that you form those one-on-one relationships, it encourages like creativity and questioning and all the things I wanted out of my college experience.
Social responsibility means caring for each individual as a person.
There are all these people and they're all more important than my general happiness as a single person.
You're not only trying to better yourself, but I feel like it also means it's your job that you better your community too.
Knowing that there's something larger than yourself and that you can play a part in making someone else's life better.
Taking what I learned from my family, that others come before me, and translating that into the entire world.
It's really awesome to be in a place where not only are you worrying about academics, but it's also teaching me how to be a better person.
To me, stewardship is just being responsible, really thinking about your actions.
If I'm going to say that, I believe in this philanthropy, I think we should do this, I need to follow through with my actions.
What I found coming to Elmhurst is that there are lots of people that feel the same way. So it was easy to find a group of people who were so engaged in service and so willing to help.
Kind of made me reflect on, what do I value in life? Why am I here? They really did kind of push me to the next level and make me think about that, and I think that I'm a better person for it.
Values really help shape identity. If you really don't understand your values, you're not really understanding a part of who you are.
I was more sheltered until I came here, and Elmhurst has really kind of made me step out of my comfort zone and learn more about what I want to do and what I believe in.
Places like the chaplain's office and the Niebuhr Center for Faith and Action give me safe places where I can go to discuss my faith and to discuss my values with people that I know I trust and people that I know I can count on to influence me and to lead me in the right direction.
You can never be forced out of your faith or forced into a different kind of faith as long as you're at Elmhurst, that you really are given the ability to take your pick and always have encouragement from your peers, never shunned or excluded or pressured into something else. There's always a place for you.
If you believe you're here on this earth for a reason, that's going to affect the way you live your life. That's going to affect the way you treat your academics, the way you treat your social life, the way you look at your future and the goals that you have. Those things seem like really big things, but all of that boils down to the way you live your everyday life.
We value
intellectual excellence, community,
social responsibility,
stewardship,
faith, meaning, and values.
Welcome to the cultural season at Elmhurst College. Elmhurst is a place of values and conviction. We were founded by 19th century reformers who believed in human potential, loved learning, and had standards. More than 140 years later, we still do. We still attract students and teachers who want to think for themselves and act on principles, who challenge and respect one another, who engage, serve, and celebrate our diverse, dynamic, interdependent world. A few years ago, to be clear about things, we wrote down our core values. This year, we asked some of our students what those values mean to them.
Elmhurst College is unique in so many ways.
Here we really do have values, and my professors know the values, and they push me to be those values.
Stewardship and faith and community and service, and it really does bring in kind of a level of just interaction with values that you never got before.
But as you kind of develop yourself over the years, you start to realize these values mean so much more, and you start to uncover the true meaning behind them.
You begin to see equivalencies between your life and the school, and then you discover that you're not just in a place of learning, you're also in a place of growing, you're in a place of maturity and value, exactly that, core values.
Intellectual excellence means allowing our minds to grow in ways that we've never thought they could before. It means exploring those new pathways, seeing how we could do things different. It means stepping outside of our box of what we know and what we're comfortable with and taking those risks to really grow and make things better. I think that's really the core of what intellectual excellence is.
The professors set the standard of intellectual excellence, and that rubs off on the students, and I feel like that's rubbed off on me.
You really have to push yourself. So to know that's actually a value here is pretty important, because that's something I value on my own. So if my college values it as well, that means I really belong here.
To say that Elmhurst College values community, I think, is an understatement. I think Elmhurst College is community in so many ways.
Coming to Elmhurst College, a small college, it has to be about community.
It doesn't really matter who you are or where you've come from. Everyone here will just love you for who you are.
The fact that every individual and every unique person is allowed to be in an environment together and learn from each other and grow with each other.
Just the fact that it's smaller and that you form those one-on-one relationships, it encourages like creativity and questioning and all the things I wanted out of my college experience.
Social responsibility means caring for each individual as a person.
There are all these people, and they're all more important than my general happiness as a single person.
You're not only trying to better yourself, but I feel like it also means it's your job that you better your community too.
Knowing that there's something larger than yourself and that you can play a part in making someone else's life better.
Taking what I learned from my family, that others come before me, and translating that into the entire world.
It's really awesome to be in a place where not only are you worrying about academics, but it's also teaching me how to be a better person.
To me, stewardship is just being responsible, really thinking about your actions.
If I'm going to say that, I believe in this philanthropy, I think we should do this, I need to follow through with my actions.
What I found coming to Elmhurst is that there are lots of people that feel the same way. So it was easy to find a group of people who were so engaged in service and so willing to help.
Kind of made me reflect on, what do I value in life? Why am I here? They really did kind of push me to the next level and make me think about that, and I think that I'm a better person for it.
Values really help shape identity. If you really don't understand your values, you're not really understanding a part of who you are.
I was more sheltered until I came here, and Elmhurst has really kind of made me step out of my comfort zone and learn more about what I want to do and what I believe in.
Places like the chapel.
Back for the second half, Battle of the Blue Jays on the men's side. Elmhurst College Blue Jays, Westminster College Blue Jays on Blue Jay TV. Thank you so much for joining us. Luke Tanaka here to bring you all the action from R.A. Fagnall Hall on the campus of Elmhurst College. Let's go through some of the stats. The main stat as Elmhurst leads 43-31 in the contest. The biggest stat that jumps out at you off the score sheet, how about bench points? Elmhurst, 23 bench points to Westminster's 4. Where are all those bench points coming from? Well, how about the play of Kyle Wiest, who has 5, Eric Crittenden, who co-leads the Blue Jays with 8. Brandon Schwebke has hit a 3. So just all those players combining, including Kenny Payonk, who has 4, Peyton White, who has 3, it all combines for 23 Elmhurst bench points. Leader for Westminster with 11 is Brandon Moore. And now we will be underway as this is Taylor Jenkins, who missed much of the first half with foul trouble. One of the better players for Westminster, and the starting 5 back out there for Westminster, minus 1 player and add in Brandon Drum instead. Vernisley Jr., number 3, is the one who is not on the floor, a starter for Westminster, instead replaced by Drum. Brondell, double dribbled, turnover. Turned it over. Possession back to Elmhurst. 43-31, 12-point lead for the Elmhurst Blue Jays. Facing off against the two-word Blue Jays Westminster. If you look on the sheet, you'll see that the Westminster Blue Jays are actually 2 words, Blue Jays, whereas the Blue Jays of Elmhurst are 1 full word, Blue Jays, as Weiss' attempt is off the mark from downtown. Brandon Moore bringing the ball up for Westminster, leading scorer. Number 14 has 11 points. High scorer on the game. Driving and just missing on the lay-in was Jenkins, and out and running is Elmhurst. Weiss on the near side, dribbling towards the far side. Pass to Ackerman, extra pass to Pat Coleman on the baseline, whose floater is good. Pat Coleman has 4. Bounce pass, Brondell down low. Looking for an open target. It was Murphy, but Murphy's not going to be able to get to this one. Out of bounds. Another turnover for Westminster. Their second of this second half in just 90 seconds. It'll go back to Elmhurst as Crittenton checks in for Loving. Crittenton off the bench has 8. He had 24 yesterday, and Elmhurst win over Greenville, also off the bench. Pat Coleman, junior guard from North Chicago, handling the ball for Elmhurst, looking to get something down low. Interesting look for the Blue Jays now with 2 forwards down low. Crittenton making his way outside. Weiss to Coleman. Little give and go. Coleman still has Weiss, now has 14 on the shot clock. 10 for Brian Ackerman, who will pull up and take a 3. Got it. Bryant Ackerman now has 11, tied for the game lead in points, and a solo in the lead for Elmhurst. Here's Moore, and Moore puts himself into the lead in total points. He has 13. In 13 of Westminster's 33 total points. 48-33 Elmhurst. Ackerman again. No, this time just a little bit short, but Crittenton able to get the rebound over Moore. Crittenton's got 5 rebounds on the day. Ackerman finds Weiss. Lots of time on the shot clock. Crittenton decides to take a 3 this time. It's well off the mark. Tried to go in and get his own rebound knowing his shot was off, but could not find it. Instead, it found the awaiting arms of Brandon Drum. Brandon Moore once again on the inside. No good. Rebound fought on by 2 teammates, Nixon and Crittenton ended up with it. Coleman, crossover step past Moore, all the way into the lane. Could not get it to fall as a couple Blue Jays fall to the ground. We'll see if Westminster pushes. They do. It's Brondell, who's blocked by Crittenton. And then fouled by the man whose shot he just blocked, Brondell. Crittenton with the block and his 7th rebound of the game. Brondell will take a seat. Mick Ebert, number 30 is the man to replace him. Coleman, Weiss, Ackerman, Crittenton, and Nixon for Elmhurst. Moore, Ebert, Jenkins, Murphy, and Drum for Westminster. Pass inside to Crittenton. Tries to take a hop step. Couldn't do so. Coleman, pass out to Ackerman for 3 again. No good. And Crittenton's going to be called for an over the back foul as he tried to tap that ball back out. So Crittenton's second and the team's first of the second half. Just about 4 minutes in, the Blue Jays have extended their lead. Was 12 at halftime and is now 15. Driving to his left is Moore, really the main offensive threat for Westminster, but that time he had the ball taken away by Coleman. Coleman looking to go coast to coast, trying to find an open target. It's Weiss. Weiss trying to find Crittenton, unable to do so. His pass was a little too hot, intended for Crittenton, who says my bad, but Weist's pass could have been a little bit better. Either better on the mark or a little softer for Crittenton to catch. So another turnover for the Blue Jays, but they lead by 15. Brandon Moore for three. No good. Rebound. Weist all the way down the floor, trying to beat the Westminster defense. Instead, hands off to Ackerman. Driving baseline, looking for Coleman. Could not find him. And so lots of sloppy play here in the first 4.5 minutes of the half. Sloppy play all around. Many turnovers for both teams. Second turnover for Bryant Ackerman. Ebert. Moore again. Moore, the main offensive threat for Westminster. Hands off. Here's Drum trying to drive baseline. Gets cut off by Nixon and Ackerman. 10 on the shot clock for Moore. Moore behind the back pass to Murphy with 5. Murphy for 3. No good. Rebound. Crittenton, his 8th. Weist. Stop with the jump stop. Gives it off to Crittenton. Timeout taken by Elmhurst. 30-second timeout. We'll briefly take a look at the shooting guard position where Kyle Weist and Nathan Rogers have taken over that position. Weist started many games last year, but was also effective coming off the bench. So head coach John Baines has decided to keep Weist on the bench to start games, bringing him off the bench as a scorer. He was the leader on the team last year, 13.4 points per game, while also dishing out 76 assists. This time you have Nathan Rogers this year, who is the one starting at point guard for the Blue Jays. Rogers averaged 4.8 points per game. Did not start a game last year, but played in 20. Weist actually started 22 games for Elmhurst last year, but this year taking a sixth-man role for Elmhurst, at least so far this year, and that's how they've started this season. Here is Weist. Man, we were just mentioning Crittenton on the baseline. 17-foot jumper, no good, but the rebound, Kenny Payonk. Payonk always smart on those rebounds, always knows which position to be in. Weist with an no-look pass to Crittenton, who tried to get it inside and was fouled. Crittenton with a jump stop in the key. It's going to be a foul charge to Mick Ebert, his first. Second team foul of the half, and Eric Crittenton back to the line once again. Crittenton's first free throw gets nothing but net. Crittenton 4 of 6 today. He was 7 of 7 yesterday. Now with that last made one, he's 5 of 7. And make it 6 of 8. 2 more points for Crittenton, who finds himself in double figures. Also has 8 rebounds, 2 rebounds away from a double-double. Murphy backs in on Payonk and hits, and the foul. Nice play by Matt Murphy. Tough shot over the defending Payonk, who did a great job. But Murphy still able to get that one to go. Matt Murphy hit the first 2 threes of the game for Westminster. He now has 8. That was his first basket since Westminster hit the first 2 baskets of the game. So with 42:21 to go, we got a little timeout as Murphy will take some time to tie his shoes. Make sure his sneakers double knotted. High tops to avoid ankle rollage. A little bit of laughing down as Murphy took a little longer than you might expect to tie his shoes, but he's ready to take the second free throw, or first free throw, I should say. He completes the 3-point play. And now Murphy will head out, replaced by Kellen Brondell. No pressure from Westminster as Coleman will bring the ball up the floor. 50-36 Elmhurst. 14 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the second half. Here's Brandon Schwebke, who checked in recently. Skip pass to Weist for 3. It's going to be just a little bit to the left. Rebound by Crittenton. 9th rebound of the game for him and 5th offensive rebound. Weist again. Bang! Kyle Weist extends the Elmhurst lead to 17. Elmhurst shooting 37.5% from beyond the arc. 6 of 16. The drive and the rejection by Crittenden. Coleman went down hard looking for a charge, but Crittenden was there to swat that ball away. Crittenden's third block of the game. Here's Zalis from the baseline jumper, no good. Tipped up, and Westminster will get possession again as Crittenden and Schwebke were both battling for that one. And the two Elmhurst Blue Jays unable to control the rebound, instead giving it back to Westminster. Wild drive attempt, but the ball ends up at the feet of Brandon Drum, who puts it up and in off the glass. Boy, Mick Ebert just ran into a wall of Blue Jay defenders. Lost the ball, but ended up going to the feet of Drum, who laid it up and in. 15-point lead for Elmhurst with the ball. Here's Payonk. Weiss driving to the left. Hands it off to Schwebke, and now Peyton Wyatt at the top of the key. Trying to direct the offense with 15. Schwebke circling around towards the top, gives it off to Crittenden. Now Weiss on the far side, circling. Giving to Crittenden, who, that's an offensive foul. Crittenden just unloaded on Tanner Cochran, the point guard, and Cochran had position and was able to draw the offensive foul. That's 3 on Crittenden, and he will most likely have to take a seat, and he will. It'll be Loving. So although Loving and Rogers have started, they're both back into the game. Although they both started, they only played 9 minutes, and their substitutes, Crittenden played 8 and Weiss played 6, so it's almost like a straight platoon situation, you might say, at those two positions, the power forward position and the shooting guard position. Is you'll see Weiss, Crittenden, Loving, and Rogers all split time at those two positions, as that one goes off the leg of Brondell. Nice trap by the Blue Jay defense to force the turnover with 12.5 minutes remaining. 15-point lead for Elmhurst. Nathan Rogers get the handoff from Wyatt. Schwebke and Loving on the far side. Schwebke driving to his left will instead hand off to Loving. Loving to his right, now Wyatt. Wyatt losing ground. Dribbled off the foot of Cochran as they got the mismatch they wanted. The smaller Tanner Cochran, just 6 feet, against Jalen Loving at 6'6", but Loving dribbled it right off Cochran's foot. And 16 to shoot for the Elmhurst Blue Jays. Peyton Wyatt with 14. No screen set, waiting for a player to come up. Here's Loving with 8. Payonk's got 6, now it's Schwebke. Out the runner, off the mark. Rebound, Cochran, the point guard. Long pass for Zalis. Tried to get it inside, but Payonk defended well on Brondell. Here's Moore, leading scorer for Westminster. Calling out a play, driving to his left, doubled by Loving, but then Loving gets off to guard his member. It's Ebert. Here's Zalis for 3. It looks like there's a foul called. Not on the shot, though. Before the shot, it'll be on Loving. Loving's second personal and 4th team foul refreshes the 35 for Westminster, as it was before the 3-point attempt. Brandon Moore once again. Backing in is Brondell, but he's in a bad situation and he throws it away. Peyton Wyatt intercepts the pass. Loving driving as the ball taken away, and it'll be a jump ball. Possession arrow towards Elmhurst. Matt Murphy checking back in for Westminster. Murphy has 8 on the day. 3rd on the team behind. Check that, it's 11 on the day. Payonk with the lay-in that's no good. Rebound Zalis. Murphy with 11. 2nd on the team to Brandon Moore's 13 for Westminster. lifting a pass towards Murphy. Murphy trying to back down Payonk. 2 dribbles, takes a tough floater on the baseline that's no good. I might have tried to use one more hip bump. He does have a distinct advantage over Payonk, although Payonk had very good position against Murphy in defense. Rogers finding Schwebke. Back out to the top of the key, and McLaughlin. Here is Schwebke again. Wanted to drive to his left, but didn't have anything. Rogers circling to the top of the key. Now McLaughlin with 10. Schwebke with 8. McLaughlin with 6. McLaughlin all the way in, and he was partially blocked, partially fouled by Zalis. Westminster fans not happy with the call, as from this angle it looked like all ball from Zalis as he stripped it as McLaughlin brought the ball up, but instead McLaughlin will have 2 shots. First one is good. Elmhurst on the day, 11 of 14 on free throw attempts. Good percentage of 78.6 for the Blue Jays. McLaughlin's second free throw attempt is good. Make that 12 of 15 now for the game for Elmhurst. Distinct advantage in bench points, the story so far, as Elmhurst has taken a huge lead on Westminster. Floater by Jordan Jensen. Nothing but net from 2 feet. Jensen's 5th and 6th points of the contest off the bench. And the depth of Elmhurst team really showing in bench points. As here is Rogers, fadeaway, blocked by Murphy. Trying to get out and run is Moore. He's blocked by Rogers. Here's Cochran on the far side, Tanner Cochran. Looking for Jensen, back out to Moore. Extra pass to Zealous, who will take the 3. It's good. Zealous cuts the Elmhurst lead to 12. Trying to ignite this Westminster offense with 9:30 remaining. Schwebke thought about the shot, got around his defender instead. McLaughlin dribbling in the key, given out to Schwebke. Timeout taken by Elmhurst, and it'll be a full. So that'll give us some more time to look at the Elmhurst men's basketball season preview. Remember, you can check this out on elmhurstbluejays.com. Head coach John Baines thinks that Jalen Loving, one of the power forwards for the Blue Jays and starting power forward, has the potential to easily earn all conference honors this season. It's his first season with the Blue Jays after transferring. He's a very good player, has actually been overshadowed so far from what I've seen by Eric Crittenden. As Loving today, 14 minutes, 6 points, just 1 rebound. Overshadowed by Eric Crittenden, his replacement off the bench, who has 10 points, 9 rebounds, 1 rebound away from a double-double, and 17 minutes, actually 3 more minutes than Loving. So that's an interesting little thing there. We'll see if Crittenden can unseat Loving for the starting position, or whether Loving will continue to have a starting position and Crittenden will come off the bench, as he's been very successful so far. As for the guards, Kyle Wiest and Pat Coleman are the incumbent starters, but Wiest has started on the bench, and Nathan Rogers, who played in 20 games last year, is instead starting at the 2 for the Blue Jays. Pat Coleman, the starting point guard. He started 16 games last year at point guard. 5.9 points per game. Coleman also added 38 assists. Good for 4th on the team. Here is Coleman. Far side Loving to the free throw line, and Nixon. Coming out of the timeout, it was a nicely run play, but Whit Nixon wasn't able to execute the shot. It was the play they wanted to run out of that timeout that John Baines drew up. So at 9 minutes to go, Westminster with a chance to cut the lead to single digits with a 3. Moore is trapped, waiting for the 3 seconds in the paint, and it will be exactly that. 3 in the key, as Moore got trapped. So instead it will be Elmhurst with a chance to extend their lead 8:45 to go in the game. 12-point advantage for Elmhurst. Kyle Wiest, Ackerman. Lots of cutting by the Blue Jays to either side. Coleman's open for three. Way off the mark, but Loving got the rebound. And one for Loving. That gets the entire Elmhurst bench out of their seat as Jalen Loving puts the ball in and will have a free throw to complete the three-point play in the old-fashioned three-point play. 14-point advantage, Jalen Loving. First free throw attempt for Loving of the game. High arcing free throw off the back iron, no good. Rebound to Tanner Cochran. Matt Murphy at the top of the key. Nice pass down low for Moore, but he's blocked by Loving. Blocked by Jalen Loving, his first of the game, and he's really showing some solid play on the offensive and defensive ends in the last sequence. That shot missed on by Coleman. Ackerman trying to fight for the rebound. Now Nixon. Ball is thrown up in the air and finally into the hands of Cochran, who ran into Coleman, and Coleman will be charged for that foul. His first personal foul and the fifth team foul on the Blue Jays. And we'll call them the Elmhurst Blue Jays, just in case you were getting confused. Two teams, battle of the Blue Jays. Two-word Blue Jays Westminster, one-word Blue Jays Elmhurst. As Cochran almost picked up his pivot foot there. Again runs into Coleman, but still able to keep possession. Now battling with Loving, trying to get the ball up. Instead it went to Murphy. Here's a three on the top of the key. It's no good. Shot by Gentjes. Ackerman pushing. Wiest is open for three. No good. Rebound. Again, Gentjes, as Westminster's trying to run as many possessions as possible in this game. There's a long three attempt that is well off the mark by Zalis. Missed everything. Wiest out and running. Finds Ackerman. Extra pass to Loving, who drives. Lost the ball initially, collects it himself, and then gets another one to drop and one. So right after we talk about Jalen Loving during the timeout, 2 straight and 1 plays. And a chance to actually complete the three-point play this time with this free throw. 7:09 remaining, 59-43, the Elmhurst advantage. They have dominated just about all aspects of this game against Westminster. Elmhurst free throw, Jalen Loving is good. Completes the three-point play and extends the Elmhurst lead to 17. Matt Murphy and Zalis on the near side, guarded by Wiest. Murphy faked the shot, guarded by Loving. Zalis bringing the ball towards his right hand. Skip pass towards Tanner Cochran. Picked by Coleman. Coleman picked his pocket, but Cochran able to get it right back. Coleman tried to find Nixon, and now Coleman will foul Cochran as he was a little emphatic with the defense after giving away the turnover. Westminster takes a timeout. Crittenton will check in after this. So let's take a look briefly. Elmhurst schedule coming up. 17-point lead here with 6 minutes and 35 seconds to go. Assuming this result holds, they will take both games they have played at the CCIW SLIAC Challenge. They defeated Greenville yesterday, now defeating Westminster today. 60-43 is the score here so far. After this, they'll travel to Tryon University on the 19th, then face Fontbonne on the road on the 22nd. They'll end their season in November as they'll head for Thanksgiving break and come back. Face Olivet on the road in December. Host Loras College, their next home game on December 3rd. Travel to Albion College on the 6th, then come back home to face Dubuque on the 13th. Travel once again, Adrian College in Michigan. Then host 2 straight non-conference games to finish the non-conference portion of their schedule. St. John's on the 19th and Kalamazoo on the 30th of December. before opening up CCIW action right here, R.A. Faginal Hall against Wheaton College. And hopefully we'll give you a little bit, we'll have another timeout so we can give you a little preview at how good the CCIW will be this year. 3 teams ranked in the Division III national poll, including the 3rd and 4th ranked teams in that poll. There's a huge upset yesterday of one of those teams as Murphy takes a 3, and it's no good. Rebound to Coleman. Yesterday, Benedictine University in Lisle upset number 4 Illinois Wesleyan, which is a result you can never, ever expect as Jalen Loving gets one to roll around a few times. I think he pulled off the 720 there before it dropped into the basket with 6 minutes to go. 19-point lead for Elmhurst, their biggest lead of the game. Murphy down low, battling against Nixon, trying to back down Nixon. Blocked by Will Nixon, but couldn't quite recover. 3 this time taken by Jenkins, and it's an air ball saved by Brundell, but right to Elmhurst. Wiest with a head of steam to Coleman, back out to Wiest. Wiest for 3, no good, off the side of the iron. Rebound Nixon, trying to get it back into Wiest, saved by Cochran, and for all the chaos, Pat Coleman is going to end up with it. Baines wants to run some clock here. Head coach John Baines telling his Elmhurst team to slow it down, run some offense. From the elbow, Jalen Loving, and it's good. Jalen Loving all of a sudden now has 15 for Elmhurst. He is 7 of 8 from the floor, extending the Elmhurst lead to 21. Jenkins looking down low for Murphy. Murphy telling his team to move. Everybody seems to be standing around, assuming Murphy would just back down his defender. Here's Brondell battling against Loving. And a hand check foul on Brian Ackerman. His first, team's 6th. Check that, it's the 7th, and that'll mean free throws for Brandon Drum as Nixon heads out. Eric Crittenden back into the game. Crittenden still needs that 1 rebound to get the double-double. 10 points, 9 rebounds for Crittenden in 17 minutes. First free throw for Drum is up and good. So that conference portion of the schedule is going to be especially brutal this year. Elmhurst picked to be 4th in the conference. Peyton Wyatt checks in for Pat Coleman, but here's the top 3 conference teams. If Elmhurst is picked 4th, Augustana is 3rd in the nation. Illinois Wesleyan 4th in the nation, although sure to drop after the loss to Benedictine yesterday. Drum's second free throw is good, and Wiest will be the point guard and bring it up. And then Wheaton College is ranked 18th. So the top 3 teams in the CCIW all ranked on the men's side. 2 ranked teams on the women's side. Bounce past Crittenden. Crittenden jump step. Tough shot up and in by Crittenden. 12 points for him. Eric Crittenden extends the Elmhurst lead to 21. Just over 4 to play. Elmhurst comfortably cruising to this victory over Westminster as that ball is thrown away by Jenkins. And we will have a slew of Westminster players back into the game now, as it looks like Westminster coach Matt Mitchell is pulling his starters, resting them, as this game seems to be out of reach. Jordan Jones into the game, as is Aaron Jackson Jr. And a couple of other subs as well, including Blake Stonecipher. Loving faked the shot, now driving. Loving lost it for a second, was out of control, and will keep the ball after it apparently went off of an arm of Westminster. Payonk into the game. Ackerman will head out. Loving out. Schwebke back in, as now we have a all-reserve lineup for the Blue Jays as well. Here's Wyatt, baseline jumper, long. Rebound, Payonk tries to go back up and is fouled by Wesley Brantley, the forward. And another sub in for Westminster. 3 minutes, 37 seconds to go, and let's look ahead as Payonk takes these 2 free throws ahead at the conference schedule for the Blue Jays. It certainly starts out difficult enough. How about these 2 for the first 2 games? Host number 18 Wheaton here at R.A. Faginal Hall on January 3rd, and then possibly your toughest game of the entire year, travel to Augustana, number 3 in the nation, on January 7th. So that's one heck of a first week for the Blue Jays, as Payonk's 2 free throws were good. And losing the ball was Westminster's Wesley Brantley. Turnover right back to Elmhurst. As for Westminster, they go 0-2 here at the CCIW SLIAC Challenge, falling to Milliken and to Elmhurst. They'll head to the University of Central Missouri next before their home opener on the 24th of November against Central Christian College. Crittenton turns that one over, perhaps the only bad thing he's done in the last 2 games. And Westminster controlling with 3 minutes to go. Chris Perilli is number 30, bottom of your screen, guarding number 15, Blake Stonecipher. He's into the game as a new player. Elmhurst playing the man defense. Wyatt shook very well by Jackson Jr. The shot is up and no good off the back iron. Battling for the rebound were a couple of players. And they're going to say that Jordan Jones had possession, so it's going to be a foul on Crittenton. Fourth foul on Eric Crittenton, and he'll have to head out 1 rebound shy of a double-double. 12 points, 9 rebounds for him, the best all-around performance in the game for the Blue Jays. Tucker Harlan seeing his first action of the season. Number 14 is in. And Chris Perilli able to come down with that board. Also into the game, James Pupillo, number 10, the near side of your screen. Michael Jerkovic, one of the seniors, set to check in for Elmhurst as well at the next dead ball. Blake Stonecipher with the foul there, and Michael Jerkovic will come in replacing Payonk, and now we truly do have a third line type team for Elmhurst out on the field. Out on the court, I should say. Front end of the 1-and-1 is good. Pupillo, Schwebke, Jerkovic, Perilli, and Harlan, the 5 on the floor for Elmhurst. Schwebke, the only player on the floor who has played minutes in this game so far. Schwebke has 3 points and has played 11 minutes in the game, and he gets the steal there. Schwebke with the outlet pass. All the way up and all the way down and blocked by Jackson Jr., but then a foul. An arm foul there. 2 shots. Jackson charged with the foul. Perilli to the line to shoot 2. First one rolls off the front of the iron, back of the iron, and out. 69-49 Elmhurst. Exactly 2 minutes to play. And Perilli is in the score sheet for the first time in his Elmhurst career with that free throw. Jackson Jr. had a chance to take a shot as he got some separation from Harlan, but did not do so. And now Perilli with the steal. Perilli all the way. Oh, he missed the layup, though. Oh, the easy lay-in. Instead of using the glass, tried to go without it, and it rolled out. Jerkovic getting physical with Jordan Jensen on the far side. Brantley, and another steal by this third unit for Elmhurst. They've done very well to force a bunch of turnovers. Westminster hasn't even gotten a shot off in the last minute or two. Good look, inside pass. James Pupillo gets in the score sheet. On a nice pass from Brandon Schwebke. Schwebke almost got that steal as well. Always active on the defensive end, Brandon Schwebke, showing some great effort in his minutes here in this game against Westminster. That's going to be a block charged on Chris Perilli. His first and the team's 9th team foul. 55.3 remaining in this one. Blue Jays going to come out victorious, leading 72-45. Certainly their biggest lead of the contest is right now, 27, as the first free throw is short from Stonecipher. It's a good win for the Blue Jays here. They'll move to 2-0, and they will travel to Trine University on the 19th. Just a couple days to get ready for that one. Second free throw from Stonecipher is good. And remember, the non-conference portion of the schedule goes through December. I believe our next broadcast of Elmhurst men's basketball on Blue Jay TV will be right here at R.A. Fagnall Hall against Loras College on December 3rd. Be sure to check elmhurstbluejays.com to confirm that. But our next broadcast of Blue Jay basketball in general will be the Blue Jay women's team as Perilli heads to the line. Misses the front end of the 1-and-1, but Schwebke grabs the rebound and eventually loses it to Westminster. UW Whitewater travels right here to face the Elmhurst women's basketball team. That one's set for the 19th right here at R.A. Fagnall Hall. Whitewater was ranked last year, and this year is ranked number 11 in the country. As that basket is good, and it's turned over again. Rebound by Perilli off the wild shot by Jackson Jr. With 15 seconds left, it looks like pressure, but now they're just going to let the clock run out. Schwebke giving it off to Jerkovic, who will, instead of going for the lay-in, just pull it out and dribble out the clock. So as the final seconds tick away, Elmhurst gets the victory, 72-48. Go through some final stats for you individually. Leading scorer in the game, and for the Blue Jays, Jalen Loving. All of a sudden, Jalen Loving, 15 points, most of them in the second half. He was 7 of 8 from the field in his 20 minutes. Today, he also added 4 rebounds. Next up, Eric Crittenden, his replacement at the 4, 12 points, 9 rebounds, just 1 rebound away from that double-double. He was 6 for 8 from the free throw stripe. Also in the scoring books in double figures, Brian Ackerman had 11, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, 2 of 2 from the free throw stripe. He also added 5 assists and 4 rebounds. As for Westminster, 13 points for Brandon Moore, but all 13 of those points came in the first half. I believe all of those 13 points came all in the first half. Mark Murphy had 11, and 5 of his points came in the second half after 6 in the first half. So thank you so much for joining us for this basketball doubleheader on Blue Jay TV. I'd like to thank Phil Petrusik for all his work he does here, working the cameras and being the technical director for us, as well as our executive producer and statistician Kevin Jude. So thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Elmhurst men's basketball on BlueJayTV.com. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We know you enjoyed the results. 72-48, Blue Jays win.